never done this on an iPad, so. So my wife and my family, they're in Los Angeles right now. I haven't slept in months. My company's down $10 million. I drink a lot to deal with the stress. So I totally get why you guys asked me to come here and speak at your lunch. Any questions? Okay, thank God I got a laugh, because if it didn't, the next 2.5 hours are going to get really awkward. Kidding. The amazing Rob Simpson, who spoke beautifully, gave me 20 minutes to speak. So I actually, when I wrote the speech, it was way too long. So I was looking through it, trying to figure out how to revise it, and just realized there's a lot of good stuff. So I didn't want to cut too much out of it. So I decided I'd just read the words that came up as misspelled. So here goes. Netflix, Onondaga, Marriott, unpredictable, Genesee, Ocho Cinco, and invigorating. Have a great day, guys. For those of you who didn't read the invite or weren't paying attention for the intro, I'll just give you a little bit of my background. My name is Jeremy Garelick. I'm from Rockland County, New York. I graduated from Yale and moved out to California to make movies. Started in the mailroom at Creative Artists Agency. I worked there for 1.5 years. I then went to go work for director Joel Schumacher. I was his assistant on 4 movies, Tigerland, Phone Booth, Bad Company with Chris Rock, Veronica Guerin with Cate Blanchett. That's when I sold my first film, which I wrote for Vince Vaughn and Todd Phillips. Vince asked me to write a movie about a breakup, so I did that movie for Vince and Jen. It was called The Breakup. Then Todd Phillips asked me to help him write a movie about a bachelor party in Las Vegas that went wrong. That became The Hangover. Then after the success of The Hangover, I got the opportunity to direct a movie called The Wedding Ringer with Josh Gad, Kaylee Cuoco, and Kevin Hart. So while doing all these inappropriate movies, I got married and had 4 kids. And my kids couldn't watch anything that I ever did. So I decided to do a show for them. So I recently wrote, produced, and directed Best Worst Weekend Ever, which just premiered on Netflix, and it's currently the highest trending kids show on Netflix. And that is a plug, so go home and watch Best Worst Weekend with your children. It is appropriate. So a little over 1 year ago, I came to Syracuse, or as I like to call it, Hollycuse, and I said I was going to make 3 movies a year for the next 5 years. We are currently halfway through our 5th movie. The Mets have moved to town, and Syracuse football's ranked for the first time in 17 years. You're welcome. I had planned on showing you guys some of the trailers for the movies that we made here so far, but they didn't pass the appropriateness test for this luncheon. So we're going to show the trailer for the Netflix show that's on that you could watch, and then after that, I'll show you one of our PG-13 movies that we shot here. Are we able to cue that up?
This is literally the worst weekend ever. We're never gonna get into Comic-Con.
At least you got a good haircut.
I got a dog haircut. I started high school on Monday with a dog haircut.
I wanted my best friends to have the best weekend ever before we started high school on Monday.
But the best memories, they never come from what you plan. They come from how terribly that plan goes wrong.
You trashed my house, lost my dog. You took my whole life and lit it on fire.
How are we gonna survive high school when we can't even survive this weekend?
I'm sorry if you think I'm not cool.
I said some things I wish I didn't say. It's over.
Nothing is over until we decide it is.
Because when the going gets tough,
The tough get going. Don't worry, I have a plan.
I hate it when you say that.
Come on, fly with me. In a hazy blaze of glory.
Everything changed in high school.
You like Latrice?
No.
Sometimes you just have to be bold and fly forward.
Oh, wait, could this get any worse?
He will jump from 12 stories up.
Margot, turn around and walk away.
Lester Warners, this situation will be insurmountable. But for us? For the crash crew? This is nothing! Right?
You said this had to be your most fun weekend ever.
Best weekend ever. Best!
Let's go our way today, our way.
Why?
We spent $22 million to do 8 episodes on that, and we shot it in Los Angeles. I was trying to bring it here to Syracuse, but at that point, the infrastructure wasn't ready to go. But if we're blessed and lucky enough to have a season 2, I said the only way I'm doing it is if we do it here in Syracuse, so hopefully. And now I want to show you, this was a movie called Looks That Kill, which is the 3rd movie we shot here, and apparently the only one appropriate to show.
Your parents tell me that you were born with a unique condition.
He's the most beautiful baby I've ever seen.
I accidentally kill people.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
When people see my face, they...
You accidentally assault people with your face.
Yeah, it's strange.
It is weird.
Don't look back, I wanna break free. If you never see him coming, you never have to hide.
What are you doing?
Just kind of in the middle of something.
Are you sure this bridge is even high enough to kill you?
What? You're leaving?
So you didn't get her number?
No.
Was she hot?
Take my everything, if we only got a moment.
Alex, I have to tell you something. I was born with a face.
That's pretty rare.
When people see me, they...
Die.
I know it's easy to lose sight of your place in this world, Max. But everybody has a purpose. You have to believe that.
Have you ever thought about if your life were a movie, what song they would use in the montage? It's for one of those moments where your life derails you, and all you hear is this.
Oh my God.
I tried to tell him. Damn it, Max.
So that was our 3rd movie. We're in week 2 of our 5th movie, and the people keep asking me the same question ever since I came here, which is why? Like, why am I here? Why would I leave Los Angeles to come to make movies in Syracuse? The answer is simple. I'm completely out of my mind. For real, it makes no sense. 100% true. What I'm doing here makes no sense, and I want to go through why. Let's talk about economic reasons for being here. There's a 40% below-the-line tax incentive. So if we're making a movie for $10, we'd in theory be spending a net of $6, which seems like it's a great incentive. However, we have to spend money to ship equipment in, to fly actors and crew in, to put people up in hotels, to pay per diem, rent them cars, pay for people's idle days, and deal with the cost of novice film crews learning on the job. These are all additional costs associated with making films here. So at the end of the day, if we're making a movie for $10, even with the incentive, we really end up spending closer to $12. So choosing to film here for financial reasons is just one more argument why I should not be speaking at your business lunch. Let's talk accessibility. It takes me and whoever we're flying in 2 flights to get here, and 1 out of every 3 trips there's a delay in 1 leg, and a flight is missed. The good news is Chicago Ord has a fantastic Marriott Airport hotel. So I'm not here because it's easy to get to. Why am I here? The weather? Unpredictable weather is a movie killer. At close to $70,000 a day, if an actor's flight is canceled or you need to shoot an outdoor party scene and the party blows away, that's a challenge. So in the 1920s, a bunch of really smart Jewish guys moved out to Los Angeles to make movies. And now, 100 years later, a really dumb Jewish guy moved from Los Angeles to Syracuse to make movies. Over the past year, I've committed an insane amount of personal, financial, and professional resources to this enterprise, and there's absolutely no reason for me to be here that makes sense from a business perspective. So I'll tell you why I came here. First, I'm going to have a drink of water. When I was a senior in college, I wrote a screenplay about high school, and my screenwriting professor told me not to write movies that are selling now. Write what was being made 20 years ago, because everything in pop culture goes in a 20-year cycle. Fashion, music, television, and movies. So when I graduated in '98, American Pie came out, followed by 24 high school movies that were released by the studios. I then looked back to 20 years earlier and saw all the John Hughes movies were getting made. Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club. Then you had Porky's, Risky Business, and I said, wow, my professor was onto something. So I put that script away, and I said, one day in 20 years, I'm gonna do something with high school scripts. And I'd been collecting this material for a really, really long time. And I was working on this business, in my spare time. It went from 5% to 10%. And after the success of The Wedding Ringer, I finally had the opportunity where I was working about 50% of the time on this business, where I said, you know what, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna dedicate everything into this business. Now, having worked on several studio films, I know that locations is a major expense. So if we were to do all these high school movies, I knew I had to find a high school. So I started searching for high schools in the tax incentive areas. Kentucky, Louisiana, Atlanta, Detroit, and I was going out with a script, trying to get financing. I spoke to a gentleman named Josh Crook, who had been working with Ron Perlman on making some films here, and he said, would you ever consider shooting in upstate New York? And I said, well, if you're paying for it, I'll shoot wherever you want to shoot. But out of curiosity, why? He said, well, there's a 40% tax credit. And I said, how come nobody's heard of that? Why don't we know that there's a 40? He said, well, it's not really in the process of being advertised now, because there was a thing, and there's like a building with, and I was just like, I didn't really care what he was saying. I started Googling high schools for sale upstate New York, and the most perfect, beautiful high school popped up on my computer. And I immediately called my wife's cousin, Seth, who I think is here tonight somewhere. I hear a clapping. And I said, hey, there he is. I said, hey, Seth, do you know where Liverpool is? And he said, I'm in Liverpool right now. He said, we work in Liverpool. So I got on a plane with my partner, who unfortunately can't be here today because he actually works, and he has to keep this business alive. And we landed here. We came to the school, and we made an offer. And it was great. The offer was accepted, and we were ready to go. The problem, or as we like to call it, a challenge, was that it was situated in the middle of a small village in Liverpool. And we needed to be a school because it was zoned for a school. So in order to do what we actually were trying to do, we had to start a school. So we started a school so we could start making movies. And what we quickly learned is that what we needed to do in order to pass code and conduct our business plan quickly became the most essential part of our business plan. You see, there was a very limited number of skilled local crew members, so we partnered up with Syracuse University, OCC, Ithaca, and Oswego, and figured out how their students could get college credit for working as crew on our movies. We partnered students with A-list Hollywood mentors with the intention to educate. On our first film, we had 8 students. On our 5th film, we currently have 35. So far, we've hired 17 former interns for paid positions and plan on hiring double that next year. It became pretty obvious to us that having to start a school like ours in order to pass Village Code accidentally resulted in creating an ecosystem of film jobs right here. And somewhere along the way, our mission of coming here, making movies, making money, and getting out of here changed. Just this morning, a young man who's been working for us on every film asked if he could talk to me. He was a little nervous. He came to my office and told me that a year ago, he'd fallen on pretty hard times. He hated his job, he got mixed up with some wrong people, and he overdosed. He hit rock bottom. He started tearing up, telling me that American High gave him a reason to go on. He wakes up and comes to work with a smile on his face every single day. He's been totally clean for over a year. We came here to try and make money, but we're staying here because of the people. It's hard to explain to those who aren't part of it, but a job in the film industry is unlike any other job. We don't work 9 to 5, we work 5 to 9. We eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, and our second dinner together. During production, a film crew becomes your best friends, and when you're in production year-round, your best friends become your family. People quit their jobs to work with us. They gave up their own families for weeks at a time in exchange to become a part of the American High family. They put their faith in me, my company, and our vision of a film industry here. Since we started Holly Q's, our crews have gone from rookies to seasoned pros. They've had kids, got married, started lives based on the assumption that this crazy idea of actually building a film industry here is going to work. And this is why I'm here. Our company raised $50 million to make movies. In the last year, we spent almost $10 million here, and we've been making an effort to make sure the money we spend is spent with local businesses. We hired a local attorney, Robert Germain, a local real estate agent, Joyce McKnight, local accountant, Gary Grossman, and several local psychiatrists who asked that we don't name them. The cafe at 407 in Liverpool was just for us an amazing place to go eat, and now they are catering all of our movies. That's just one example. We spent thousands of dollars at Wegmans, Genesee Grand, Destiny USA, Original Grain, La Macchia Honda, Clinton Street Pub, Raymore and Flanagan, with a good discount. The list goes on. We've hired local celebrities to act in our movies, like Steve from Genesee Cleaners and James from Ocho Cinco. And then there's stuff you cannot put a price on. Our stars have been good enough to mention Syracuse on The Howard Stern Show. But we have an investor who doesn't care where we shoot our films, as long as we continue to deliver. He'll keep paying for us to make more. But he's not paying for the Academy and all the things that go into making it a world-class film institute. So for us to stay here in Syracuse and continue what we're doing, we need your help. The tax incentive alone isn't big enough to overcome the obstacles. We need to pitch in as a community, sponsoring a teacher, sponsoring a student, sponsoring a class, donating old furniture, old cars, old medical equipment, whatever, or just volunteering your time and your skill set. That would be an incredible investment in the community, in the ecosystem that will eventually become a place where the impediments of people coming here to make film will be overcome by people just staying here to make film. I want to build something here with the crew we've built. The crew that's become more like family than my actual family. Sorry, Seth. Most of all, I want this to be so undeniably successful, I can convince my wife and family to move here. Speaking as a father and husband, please, I haven't seen them in months. The impediments we face are by no means insurmountable. We are building a crew. We're convincing Syracuse University students to stay in central New York. We're convincing people who have moved away to move back. I came here by chance, and I stay here by choice. I stay because Syracuse and central New York have so much going for it that once we've put this startup phase behind us, we're going to show the world that Syracuse is a world-class city. The scenic beauty, it's a beautiful place. The lakes, the trees, the colors, whether it's the foliage of the fall, the green of the spring and summer, or the white of the snow the other 10 months of the year, are all breathtaking. The architecture in Syracuse is amazing, and it's going to be starring in every single one of our films. But again, it's the people who make this special. We've got private businesses like Seth and the team at Raymore who have bent over backwards to help us out. We've got amazing partners in all levels of state, county, and local government, especially Joni Mahoney, we're going to miss you, and Bill Fisher, going to miss you too at the county. We're sad to see them leave, but we know that Ryan McMahon will be will be in good hands. Mayor Ben Walsh has been out to our studio, and we look forward to partnering with the mayor on educational initiatives to get Syracuse students into film jobs. And we wouldn't be here without the tax credits put in place at a state level. All of this is the foundation of something truly special. To sum up, I'm $10 million in the hole, haven't slept in months. My wife and kids are on the other side of the country, but every morning I wake up inspired to go to work, not because of what I'm building here, but because of what we're building here. So if you're interested in getting involved, please just contact me. Thank you guys. Thank you, Rob, for putting this all together. Really appreciate it. I'm honored that you guys let me do this here today.